Nation, what it do, what it do, what it do. What's good, what's good? So, the Raiders missed out on Matthew Stafford. We don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Sam Darnold, is the price too high? Is he going to be franchise tagged? The final day is tomorrow for a franchise tag, so we will find out tomorrow who will be franchise tagged, who won't. We will also find out um, you know, possibly who our quarterback could be, who is going to be in the running. Is Sam Darnold going to get franchise tagged? There's been talks and reports that they were going to franchise tag him and then possibly trade him, which, man, again, that puts us back in the Sam Darnold spot where we got to give up draft capital and draft picks to go get our guy and then pay him $50 million a season, somewhere in that range. Just wild to me. Just way too much, over the top. Um, so somebody requested yesterday. My guy Arnie Garza um, requested yesterday to break down where Aidan O'Connell stands in the NFL with the rest of the quarterbacks. So I got a little list here. We will break down, but we're gonna add a little spice to it. You guys are gonna pick the quarterback. No names. We have the stats for all 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Some played 10 games, some played 12. We also have a stat that we will show to break that up to combat that. So if you guys want to play, we'll see if anybody else pulls up. You guys got any questions? Arnie Garza, appreciate you pulling up. Any questions? We'll wait to see if anybody else pulls up or pops in here. But if not, I'm not going to be on here too long. It's a little late, so I tried to get on earlier, didn't happen. Um, but yeah, we're gonna have a little fun. So we got all 32 quarterbacks, but the key is there's no names next to them, just their stats. We're gonna compare each one, all 32, and yes, I said 32 because Aiden O'Connell was not a starter except for a couple games last year. I believe 5 games he started. I mean, this year. So Gardner Minshew is in there as well. And yeah, we're gonna break it down and see Aiden O'Connell's numbers compared to the rest of the starting 32 quarterbacks this year in the NFL's draft. So, I mean, not the NFL draft. I got that shit on my brain, but this year. So let's just get into it right off the bat. Break it down. I guess Arnie Garza, you're the only one in here, so I guess you're picking and you get to decide. So the first one is, of course, no names. Played in 17 games. Oh, wait, before I do this, I missed a step. Let's put this up. All right, so we all know, most of us know by now, but 17 games, 62% completion ratio, 3,830 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions with an 85 QBR. He had one rushing touchdown, maybe two, but I only seen one, and 6 fumbles in 17 games. Right, you know, that's his career. And last year we didn't have stats to compare it to anybody, so this year we have stats. Um, you know, he's actually played in enough games where you can actually break it down compared to other guys in a season. So that's what we are gonna do. So get back to the comments. Make sure this stays up. All right. So the first one, it's not even a comparison. 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 975 yards rushing, and a whopping 4 rushing touchdowns. With the biggest number, in my opinion, is 10 fumbles. Now, You can have 4 rushing touchdowns and 41 passing touchdowns, but I guarantee you out of those 10 fumbles, it probably cost your team a lot of points, a lot of turnovers. So, let's see. Put my pin up here. So the first one, if you look at the numbers, there's no comparison. That's a no, right? So the next one, 17 games, 63 compared to Aidan O'Connell's 62.6. Pretty close, right? 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not much difference, but then you got to throw in 531 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns to only 5 fumbles. If y'all know who that is, let me know. So, damn, I don't know if there's anybody in here or not, but Arnie, are you participating? Are you there, Arnie? Are you there? Uh, so that one, I mean, it's obvious. It's a no. Aidan O'Connell is not better than that quarterback. The next one, y'all see the stats. I'm not going to read every single one of these for the ones that is no comparison. Almost 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. But again, the key 11 fumbles. 11 fumbles. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's going to cost your team at least 5 touchdowns, probably somewhere in there, and a couple field goals. No, Brock Purdy wasn't first. Well, I'll break down each name afterwards. Afterwards, I'll show you the stats and the names. But first, I guess I'm doing. I was hoping there'd be more people in here and people would participate, but it is what it is. So the next one, 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 56 yards rushing. Not a big rusher, right? Maybe you could put some of these guys together. The next one, 17 games. Wait, hold up. So what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? We're on the 5th one. All right. 4,000, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown, 8 fumbles. Not a bad season. The 6th quarterback, Aiden wasn't better than that. 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. You have to say and to that, right? But then we get to the 8th quarterback, right? This is the 8th best quarterback in the NFL stat wise. No teams, no, we're not counting Aidan O'Connell having, going on his, or having 2 coaches, 15, what was AOC stats? It's on the screen, my brother, right here. It should be up there. Can you not see it? It's on the bottom. 17 games. Can you see it? Let me know. Bottom of the screen. It should be up there. So you can look at the top ones and compare it to the bottom ones. So before I go any further, can you give me a thumbs up? Let me know that you see Aidan O'Connell's. Do I need to put AOC's name on there? I should probably do that. Hold up. Give me a second. A to the O to the C, my G. All right, is that better? Does that help? Can you see it? You got it? All right, cool. All right, so back to this. So we're on what I say, the 7th or 8th, whatever. I'm not going back and counting, but we're only on the 8th best quarterback in the NFL stat wise. 3,568 yards, 25 touchdowns. That's 5 more than Aidan O'Connell. 9 interceptions. That's 2 less than Aidan O'Connell. But they had 891 rushing yards with 6 rushing touchdowns and 5 fumbles. So again, to me, when I do my shit like that, for every couple, for every fumbles, I put like half of those touchdowns. So I'd probably make it 4 rushing touchdowns. You got to take a couple of touchdowns away from a guy and the interceptions, in my opinion. But Again, we'll break down who all these guys are at the end. So now we're on what, ninth? The ninth best guy, played in 16 games, had a 67.5 percentage, pretty close to 4,000 yards, right? 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, exactly the same as Aidan O'Connell. 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Now, again, these are just the stats for 2025 for the starting quarterbacks. So for that, I mean, even the one above it, I'm going to have to put, let's just put a mark. And we'll put another mark for that one. And we'll just see how many he's in the ballpark with first. So the next one is supposed to be the 10th best, right? 17 games, 3,870 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Damn good stats. 300 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns to 6 fumbles. I don't know whose stats those were, but those are pretty damn good. The next one, 4,320 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 272 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, but 9 fumbles. You had 9 fumbles. That's devastating for a team, bro. And you know how I know it's devastating for a team? Because my team, the Las Vegas Raiders, had Gardner Minshew, who fumbled like 10 times, I do believe. Oh, 6 times. 6, 7 times. And all of those were costly. Plus, he had 10 interceptions. So, yeah, turnovers hurt. So, 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. How many rushing yards did AOC have? I could only find, I don't know. I'll look it up at the end, but it's not much, bro. It's like 22 yards or something. But they add up, all the times you got sacked on those yards also. I do believe. So if you had 20 yards rushing or 100 yards rushing in a season and you were sacked 3 times, it lost 5 yards, they're going to minus 15 yards off your rushing. I do believe that's how it works, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the chats. So yeah, Aidan O'Connell on that one. I'm gonna put a check mark. 25, 15, and 3. I don't know. All right, we'll get to that. We'll figure it out. So we are on, I think, the 12th quarterback. So this is the 12th quarterback, played in 15 games, had 3,000, close to 400 yards passing, had 25 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. That's 5 more touchdowns than Aidan O'Connell. The same amount of interceptions, 1 rushing touchdown, the same amount, 4 fumbles, so a little bit less. I mean, you're going to have to put them in the ballpark there too. The next guy, 16 games, 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 41 rushing yards, 0 rushing touchdowns, 6 fumbles. I mean, you got to say, right? Those numbers to me line up pretty damn close. 1 more interception. Wait, no, 8. Yeah. Next is 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 323 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns with 7 fumbles. I mean, shit. I might have to put him in that category also. Except for the rushing yards, just killing him. All right. So in 14 games, this quarterback had 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, almost 250 yards rushing with 6 rushing touchdowns, 5 fumbles. Next, we have. I'm trying to keep it at the top so y'all can see. Damn it. 17 games, 68.8% completion ratio. Pretty much the same amount of yards, same amount of touchdowns, same amount of interceptions, but he had 572 rushing yards with 5 touchdowns, but also had 8 fumbles to Aidan O'Connell's 6. So, I mean, damn, minus the rushing yards, he's pretty much right there in the ballpark with every one of these quarterbacks. And I know the rushing yards make up a big difference. So do the 8 rushing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns. But you got to understand how many times were we at the goal line on the 1 yard line and we tried running the ball 3 different times or passing the ball 3 different times when we just could have did the tush push and had it in the end zone, which was a lot of these guys rushing touchdowns were from a tush push from being 1 yard out. So, I mean, you have to add that into the mix also. So next up, 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, which is 9 more than Aidan O'Connell, 12 interceptions, 430 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, with only 3 fumbles. That's not bad either. Can't complain at that. Um, Next, only played in 11 games, had 2,867 yards with 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 50 yards rushing with 7 fumbles. Now, last year, Aidan O'Connell played in 11 games, started in 10 games. I believe it was 2,200 and something yards. I'm not exact, but I believe he had 12 touchdowns with 7 interceptions. So the numbers are all pretty close to right there. So even the rushing yards for once. It's just horrible. So the next one only played in 8 games, had almost 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 54 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 4 fumbles. Now we can compare that to Aidan O'Connell this year because he played in 7 games, started in 5. He had 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions with 1,600 yards passing. And I think 2 fumbles or I don't know, 1 or 2 fumbles. I think only one this year. I don't know. I'm not exact on that. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to throw him in the ballpark on that. Also, the next quarterback played in 13 games, 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 421 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and 9 fumbles. Now, again, I keep saying, Aidan O'Connell is losing this rushing battle. But in my mind, I would much, much rather not have 421 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns over those 9 fumbles. Any day of the week, I would be like, okay, you could have those 421 rushing yards and those 4 rushing touchdowns. Just give me back those 9 fumbles because those 9 fumbles could be devastating to a team. And we don't know, when they came. It could be like like our boy Amir Abdullah who fumbled at the 1 yard line, in a game that we were getting ready to win. Fumbles like that cost the team playoff spots, cost the team lots of shit. So I'm gonna put another checky mark there. The next quarterback played in 17 games, almost the exact same stats, right? 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 233 yards rushing, 0 rushing touchdowns, 6 fumbles. That's almost the exact same stats as Aidan O'Connell. I'm gonna put another line there. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, I'll count it later. Next guy played in 11 games. We went over that Aidan O'Connell He did have 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions with 155 rushing yards, 5 fumbles, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad year, right? Not a bad year. We'll get to who that was here in a minute. James Furpo, appreciate you pulling up. Nez, my guy, what's good? What's good? Fuck, which one was I on last time? Did I do this one? Somebody let me know. Shit, I don't know. All right, so the next guy played in 17 games. Nobody's saying yes or no, man. Y'all supposed to be saying yes or no, or just type AOC or X for the other guy, so I can add them all up. What y'all think? Um, so yeah, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions in 17 games, 5 fumbles. Pretty damn good year. I mean, I'm gonna have to say you gotta be in that mix, right? It's got to be pretty close. 14 games, 66.9 compared to 63.2. 200 yards less, 28 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, 12 rushing touchdowns, 6 fumbles. Now that's some stats, right? He definitely is not better than that guy. So we will not put no marks. 10 games, 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1 rushing, 3 fumbles. Appreciate you. So I mean, damn, those numbers are pretty close to the 12 games Aidan O'Connell played in his rookie season, as a backup. So I'm gonna say he's damn close or tied with that dude. 10 games again, 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns, but 3 fumbles. I'm gonna say yeah. 62%, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, close to 200 yards rushing, no rushing touchdown, but 10 fumbles. Man, 10 fumbles. I'm sorry, bro. 10 fumbles, I'm gonna have to take away at least 5 of those passing touchdowns, in my opinion. Like, I don't know how y'all do the math, but I mean, at the minimum, you got to take away 3 of those touchdowns, right? 10 fumbles, bro. 10 fumbles. I mean, I don't know how many was lost because it doesn't say won or lost, but you got to think at least somewhere, at least close to half of those. That's a lot of damn fumbles. That's a lot of fumbles, bro. Um, yeah, see, my man said AOC on that one. Um, 11 games, under 2,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 500 yards rushing, but 9 fumbles, 6 rushing touchdowns. Aidan O'Connell's rookie year was better than that. AOC for sure. In 10 games, less than 2,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 300 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 4 fumbles. Yeah, I'm going to have to say AOC on that. 10 games again, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. These guys are starting quarterbacks in the NFL that everybody's saying is worse than my quarterback. And yes, I'm saying my quarterback because he's still the starter until he's not, right? 10 games, 10 touchdowns, bro. I'm going to have to put another check there. Did I put a check on the last one? Shit, I might have put one less. I don't know. I'm going to put one for extra measure. And then the final 12 games, 200 yards, 13 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. I mean, you had to put Aidan O'Connell, I mean, if not better, which I would say better because he had 10 fumbles to 12 interceptions, bro. That's 22 turnovers to Aidan O'Connell's 17. I mean, that's a big difference to me. And then the last one played in 7 games, had 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 5 fumbles in 7 games. That's wild, bro. That's wild. So here's my math. Let me get out of this real quick. Get back to the scrizzing. Um, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I count 23 quarterbacks in the NFL that Aidan O'Connell's first 17 games stats are better than. There's what, 32 teams? So that puts him 19th, the 19th best quarterback in the NFL. Now, I mean, these are just stats. You got to go by, the man looks like he's going to, has to go to the hospital every time he gets tackled, running to the sidelines. We have to take all of that into account. But now let's go back and um that was Minshew. No, actually, the last one wasn't. Was it Minshew? No, I don't think it was. He was up there somewhere else. No, five passing. No, it wasn't Minshew. He was up. The Minshew wasn't even. He was like. I don't know. Here, we'll get to it. Let me go back to this shit. Now, the experiment didn't work like it was supposed to because it was supposed to be the blind coverage of each guy, and you guys were supposed to pick yes or no for each one so we can add up your opinion to whether you thought Aiden O'Connell was better than that quarterback. So it didn't look like it was biased, in my opinion. But we got AOC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shit, I don't know. So somewhere in there. So 10 to my 20, but y'all didn't start participating till way way late. So let's pull up the real screen. Which one was it? Shit. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Pull this up quick, fast, and in a hurry because I gotta get the hell off of here. Um, all right, what can y'all see? Damn, I was all the way at the bottom. Shitty, shitty, shitty. All right. Any guesses on who y'all thought number one was? Rebel. How wins does AOC have against backups instead of starters? I don't know. I'll have to break all that down and give you the answer in the live tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll never get to what I'm trying to do. I've already been on 30 minutes. So the first guy, of course, was Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Mar had, let's see, put it up here. So we went over Lamar's stats, right? 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's a big goose egg. Aiden O'Connell is not better than Lamar Jackson. It wasn't even a question. There shouldn't even be a talk. Number 2 was Josh Allen. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 531 rushing yards to 5 fumbles with a 63.6, which is exactly the same as Aiden O'Connell's completion ratio. Um, he had less passing yards this season in 17 games than Aiden O'Connell in his 17 game career. Yards per average is just barely over Aiden O'Connell's, and this is Josh Allen we're talking about. This ain't the bottom of the quarterback pool and Will Levis. This is Josh fucking Allen, dude. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So no, Aiden wasn't better than him. But look at the numbers; we're damn close. Now, the best quarterback in the NFL by far, in my opinion, was Joe Burrow, almost 5,000 yards passing, 70.6 uh, completion percentage is just wild to me in 7 games. 7.5 yards per attempt, 43 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, but he had 11 fumbles. That's gotta hurt, bro. So 2 rushing touchdowns, and those were probably on the 1 yard line, maybe 5 yards out. He don't rush much anymore. So, um, yep. Second guy was Josh Allen. So where are we at? The third guy, Joe Burrow. So the fourth guy was Goff. Goff had 40, 40, a little over 4,500 yards passing with a 72.4 completion ratio, percentage, not ratio. 37 cribs to 12 INTs, only 57 yards rushing with 6 fumbles. Now, you can also throw in the fact that Jared Goff had 2,000-yard rushers, 1,000-yard receiver, and one that was very close if he didn't get 1,000 yards. So, I mean, those 37 passing touchdowns. When you got 2,000-yard rushers on your team, play action is gonna be very smooth and nice, very nice. Sam Darnold, the $50 million guy everybody wants to trade for, 66.2% completions. What 4,300 yards? That's what 500 yards more than Aidan O'Connell with the best quarterback, best receiver in the NFL. 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 200 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 8 fumbles. So 20 turnovers in the season. That's the fifth ranked. Sixth is Baker Mayfield. 41 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. That's crazy, bro. But if you're winning games, you can live with that, right? But they didn't, they didn't win enough games. They lost in the first round of playoffs because of those interceptions. And it was those interceptions. Didn't he have 3 in that game? So, you live and die by the sword. 4,500 yards passing, 71.4%. That is damn good for Baker Mayfield. I didn't know those numbers were that high. Super impressive. Yeah, the sixth best quarterback in the NFL this year was Baker fucking Mayfield. Yes. Stat wise. Next up was Jaden Daniels. Now, I mean, number 7 in the NFL is Jaden Daniels, and you're telling me that Aidan O'Connell's not in the top 20 in quarterbacks? We have all the stats right here from the quarterbacks that played and started last year. You cannot tell me Aidan O'Connell is not in this mix. Like, so 17 games, he had 3,568 yards. That's almost 300 yards less than Aidan O'Connell in 17 games. That's only 5 touchdowns more than Aidan O'Connell and 2 interceptions less than Aidan O'Connell. Now, you have to throw in the 891 rushing yards with 6 rushing touchdowns. Is why he's number 7 on this list, right? Now, if Aidan O'Connell just had a little bit of feet, has some smoke on them wheels, he might be in that mix a little way higher up there. In fact, I know he would. So, the great Patrick Mahomes, right? The greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Fuck out of here. 67.5 percentage, 4 over Aidan O'Connell. 3,928 yards. That's less than 100 yards more than Aidan O'Connell in a 17 game span. And Patrick Mahomes has been in the league for what, 6 years now? 5, 6, 7 years. This is Aidan O'Connell's rookie year in a 17 game. Now, granted, all these guys. Wait, I'm going back up here because I forgot to throw this in here. Lamar Jackson, 7th year. Josh Allen, 7th year. Joe Burrow, 5th year. Jared Goff, ninth. Ninth year. Ninth year. Just to emphasize that, right? This is a rookie in 17 games we're talking about in the silver and black. Just want to make that clear. Sam Darnold, 7 years. Took him 7 years to have one good season in the NFL. 7 years. It took Aidan O'Connell 17 games to have more touchdowns than interceptions. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. And he still had two more fumbles in that time. Now, let's also throw in the fact that I didn't want to bring this up. I'll read this comment in a minute, but you know, Aidan O'Connell's 17 games didn't come in a season where you get some momentum and you get hot after a victory, and you get a little confidence. Your nuts start to drop a little bit. Your thing starts to swing. You get a little swagger to you. Your shoulders back. Your chest is out. You get on a roll, right? You get some momentum going. The team gets some momentum going. Aiden O'Connell never had that opportunity. Never had that opportunity. He had 10 games he started in. The most he started in a row was 9. And this year, he started in one game, got hurt early. Started in another game, got hurt, missed the rest of the game, left early. Missed 4 games because of the broken thumb, and then came back in and played 3 games in a row. So there's no rhythm here. These stats are sporadic starts. You know, almost a year later. The first start was the middle of the season last in 2023, and then he didn't even start till halfway through the season this year. So I just want to throw that out there too as we're looking at these stats. My guy says the thing that gets me is Aiden O'Connell had 3 OCs, 2 head coaches in 2 years, a fourth-year pick. Consensus is just don't know until year 3 on a guy exactly, let alone the fourth-round quarterback, three OCs and 2 head coaches. I hear you 100%, and 7-10 as a starter, but you got to realize 7-10 as a starter. the The first game he lost against the Chargers was sacked 7 times. They were completely set up in that game. I mean, he was thrown under the bus. He was thrown out to the wolves, in my opinion, by Dick Daniels. I don't even think he gave that kid a chance. Now I could be wrong, but when he got to play that team again, he put up 4 touchdowns. Not only did he put up 4 touchdowns, he put up 4 touchdowns in the first half, I do believe. If my recollection is right. Now, go back, check it, hit me up in the comment section, which I don't know why nobody comments. Yo, after you watch these videos, can y'all please go leave a comment? Because y'all are killing my algorithm. I can't get nobody to comment in my damn comment section. But anyways, if I'm wrong, leave a comment. But I do believe he put up 4 tutties in the first half of that game, which is crazy. And the 7-10 record, we had again, a team that rushed for under 70 yards a game. Come on. Do I have to go back and look at the rushing yards for Minnesota? They rushed well over 120 yards a game, I do believe. Jared Goff and the Lions, they probably rushed close to 200 yards a game. Helped their quarterback a lot. The Bengals probably didn't have too much rushing yards. The Bills had more rushing yards than they usually have, and Josh Allen didn't have to do all the work. So that was a big, big help for him this year, is why he put up the numbers he did. Lamar Jackson got the second, third, fourth, however you want to slice it, best running back in the entire NFL. Aiden O'Connell had Madison. Madison, bro. Every time I say his name, it cracks me up. That's wild. We had Madison. Where would I stop at? Jaden Daniels. All right. So, yeah. So Patrick Mahomes, right? 6.8 yards per attempt. Aidan O'Connell in his career. Uh, do I not have those? Oh, fuck, I didn't put it up. I think it's 6.8 or 6.9. It's right there. It's not 7, I know that, but it's like 6.7 or 6.8, somewhere in there. Um, 26 touchdowns, bro, to 11 interceptions. That's 6 more touchdowns than AOC. And he only rushed for 307 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns, but he only fumbled twice, which is huge. That's huge. Now, the one stat that I said that was a big ass game, and y'all were gonna be surprised. A big year, y'all were gonna be surprised who it was. It was none other than ninth ranked, 5th-year starter. Yes, 5th-year to 17 game starter, 4th-round pick, holding a clipboard until he was thrown in a fire starter. Fire starter. But anyway, back to fucking around. Completion percentage was 2 higher than Aidan O'Connell. In a 17 game span, he had less than 100 yards more than Aidan O'Connell. He had 3 touchdowns more. Now the big thing is he only had 3 interceptions. So yeah. But if you look at the Chargers games, like maybe once or twice a game he threw for over 20 yards. The rest were quick slants, dump outs, pretty much like Aiden O'Connell, the system we ran all year with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. So yeah, that's Justin Herbert, number 9. And you could say with 26 and 10, I mean, dude, at, those numbers are the same. The only difference between Aiden O'Connell and Justin Herbert is the 3 interception ratio. Like, I mean, you could even make a comment. Make a comment. Um, the fuck, you can even make a case that in those 17 games, as a rookie in the 2 seasons for Aiden O'Connell, is not different than those numbers right there from Patrick Mahomes. I mean, percentage wise, passing wise, yards per attempt wise, a couple more well, not a couple, 6 more touchdowns. But he also was Patrick Mahomes. He also had way more leniency than than Aiden O'Connell probably will ever have as a quarterback in the NFL. He gets to do what he wants, pick his plays, run when he wants to, change the plays at the line of the scrimmage. Aiden O'Connell doesn't get to do none of that. So take that into account too. Um, one bad snap and some missed field goals from being 2-0 at Arrowhead. Exactly. And, we don't even have to mention the 340 yards he put up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I told you, Google it. Ask Siri. I know most of y'all got an iPhone. Ask Siri who was the only quarterbacks in 2024 to throw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe there's only 2, but it could be 1. I know one of them was Aiden O'Connell. Salute Rebel. I would also argue all those quarterbacks, including Mahomes and Herbert, had better coaching than Aiden O'Connell. Well, yeah, he had a rookie coach fucking his whole career. Like, I mean, not his whole career, but his whole starting career. His whole starting career, he had, AP. And Aiden O'Connell takes a lot of criticism, bro. And I just want to come out here and show I don't give a shit about Aiden O'Connell. I mean, he's a Raider. It's the only reason I care. I think the dude's goofy. I think he got a goofy ass mustache. I think he's got no athleticism. He can't run worth a shit, but the dude can play quarterback. And that's all I care about is who can play quarterback and get this team victories and help us win games. that doesn't cost $40 million that you don't even know if he's going to fit the system. We know what Aidan O'Connell's going to do in every system they've given him. So Patrick Mahomes was the eighth one, right? So we're at 8, and there's probably what I say 2 guys. Jaden Daniels at 25-9. The only difference between Jaden Daniels and Aidan O'Connell in a 17 game series or in a 17 game season is the 800 rushing yards. And for that, it does make a difference because he only fumbled 5 times. Now, if he had 10 fumbles or 12 fumbles like some of these other cats, I'd be like, bro, those 800 yards don't mean shit to me. Not when you fumble 12 times, but only 5 fumbles for a rookie. Bro, Jaden Daniels is him. We all know that. I ain't got to say it. But so we're on Justin Herbert. Geno Smith, bro. Everybody's saying trade for Geno Smith, right? Trade for Geno Smith. So Geno Smith threw for 4,321 yards. He had a 70 per I mean, damn, I didn't see that. So okay, maybe depending on what it cost, but you got to look at the 15 interceptions and 9 fumbles also. Let me read the stats. So 70%. That's killer, right? 70.4. That's like second best so far out of all these cats. I do believe, or third best. 4,320 yards, 7.5 yards per average. That's tops. 21 tutties. That's one more than Aidan O'Connell. But then you got to throw in 15 interceptions for a 12 year. 12 year. That's a 1 and a 2 next to it. Yes, 12 years. That's what, 8th grader? No, 12th grader? 8th grader. I can't even do math. I don't know why I said 8th grade. um, that's a senior in high school, bro. That's 12 years in the NFL. And you still can't outdo Aidan O'Connell, who's only played in 17 games in his career, bro. 15 interceptions, 272 yards rushing with 9 fumbles and 2 rushing touchdowns. You can keep all that shit and your 9 fumbles. No, no, I would not trade for that dude and give up draft picks for a dude that's not going to do shit but run for 200 more yards than the quarterback I have that's under a rookie contract for what, 1.4 million? Dude, some of y'all's logic, bro, it just, it's wild to me. It's wild. 15 games for Jordan Love, his 5th year. 5th year. He got to sit for bomb, boom, bang. 3 years the dude sat before he even got to even get a chance to get his feet wet on some turf. 15 games, 63.1. That's 1 point less than Aidan O'Connell. I just wanted to say that. 3,389 yards. That's 500 less than Aidan O'Connell. Uh, 8 yards per average. That's higher than Aidan O'Connell. 25 touchdowns, higher than Aidan O'Connell by 5. Interceptions, the same as Aidan O'Connell. He only rushed for 83 yards. 1 rushing touchdown, same as Aidan O'Connell. 4 fumbles, 2 less than AOC. So, I mean, I don't even know if I had that check on the 11th best guy, but so far, like, shit, I'm gonna put Jordan Love on there too. I'm gonna have to put AOC close to that. I mean, can you actually argue with me? Am I wrong to say that Aidan O'Connell in 17 games did not put up almost those exact same numbers right there? Didn't this dude just sign a $45 million a year contract after only playing after only playing 1 season? 1 season? Bro, and y'all saying we can't win with Aidan O'Connell. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why in the hell do you want to go take a chance on Justin Fields, who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with that strong ass arm he has? Yes, he's very exciting to watch in the run game, in the RPO, in the read option. I get it. I get it. It would be great to watch. We haven't had that shit since Terrell Pryor. Like, man, I understand, but is it worth it to pay a dude $10 million to watch him run around and throw interceptions and cost us games? Because we don't have Justin Field stats on here because he only started in 4 games. He was a starter. He probably should have been on here, but I'm gonna pull him up after we go through these quarterbacks real quick because I was only supposed to be on here for a half hour. It's late. I'm not supposed to be on here making noise. Um, so yeah, Jordan Love. I mean, I'm gonna have to throw AOC in that mix, bro. I'm gonna throw AOC in that mix. We'll get to it. Russell Wilson's on here, I do believe, because he had most of the starts. They didn't have Fields on here, but I'll throw Fields out there before I get off. So I mean, bro, in 17 games, this dude Jordan Love sat for 3 years behind one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Aidan O'Connell, my poor brother Aidan O'Connell sat behind. God, I just want to. Sorry, I'm trying to clear the throw up in my mouth. Um, sat behind Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer, bro, and Brian Hoyer for like 5 games until they said, "Get the hell out of here. We are going with this kid that is way better than a dude that has been to a Super Bowl. What, 2 Super Bowls, right? I don't know, Jimmy Garoppolo, but yeah. So Jordan Love, we're only on the 11th best quarterback in the NFL, and so far, Aiden is looking like he's like a top 15 quarterback by these numbers. I mean, am I wrong? Can I get a one in the chat if I'm wrong? Uh, Two in the chat if I'm right. Because I mean, by these stats, and I know stats aren't everything, and we're not even throwing the fact that all these teams had rushing games. Matthew Stafford, 3,762 yards, 6.5%, 820 7.3 yards per average, only 20 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Now, I don't want to say the dude's name because last time I said his name, he came flying up on the chat and yelling and screaming and shit. So, but we had this conversation and I brought up stats and they asked me, Aiden O'Connell only had 20 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That's a good quarterback in the NFL. That same person was rooting to trade for Matthew Stafford, to trade picks for Matthew Stafford and pay him $50 million in 16 games. He had less yards than Aiden O'Connell, a couple points higher at yards per average, the same amount in touchdowns, 3 less interceptions, been in the league 16 flipping years, only had 41 yards rushing, 0 rushing touchdowns, and 6 fumbles. Now, at least Aiden O'Connell had 1 rushing touchdown with the tush push and 6 fumbles. But come on, Matthew Stafford's been in the NFL 16 years, bro. Aiden O'Connell's played 17 games. I don't know how much I can keep saying that or, reiterating that shit over and over and over again until your ears bleed that, that this kid can play football in the NFL, dude. Like it's right in front of you. Now, somebody put his record up there was what, 7-10? He's 7-10 in 17 starts. Like, okay, that's a losing record. But do I have to go back and show you the first 2 years or 3 years of of Josh Allen's rookie record, of Jalen Hurts, of Jared Goff, of Matthew Stafford's? Bro, Matthew Stafford will never ever have a winning record. Matthew Stafford played so long with the Detroit Lions that if that dude played another 5 years and won every game, I don't still don't think, I'm just talking shit because I don't know what his record is, but I believe his win-loss record is he has more losses than wins. He has a Super Bowl ring, yes, but he played for a very bad team in Detroit for a long, long time. So I would venture to say those win losses, you know, don't really matter as much. Yes, they matter. Okay, I'm not going to say that because people are going to take that shit and run with it. Yes, they matter extremely win loss ratio because you're the quarterback, you're the captain of the offense, you're the captain of the ship, you're running that shit. You distribute the ball to where you want it to be. Um, so everything falls on your shoulders. However, there's there's so many coaches in the NFL that you know are great Hall of Fame coaches that have 54 wins and 51 losses, or some shit like that, or have more losses than they have wins, but still ended up winning Super Bowls and are Hall of Fame guys. So win losses matter, but when you're that young in your career and you're playing for a team that has no running game, a different starting offensive lineman at a different position every game, when you have Bo Hardigree as your offensive coordinator and you have your best season with a dude that's never called plays in his life, like, come on, all this shit points to points to a dude that could be a starter. Now you could say on on all your big platforms, uh that this dude will never be nothing but a backup in his whole entire career. And you might be right. You might be right. But I don't think it's because of his playtime or because of his playability or quarterback ability that he'll be that backup. I guarantee you. Can AOC grow a beard or shave his mustache off? Um, the way he grows that beard, that mustache, bro, I think his testosterone is just fine. And he can grow that shit better than my Jewish ass. So, like, I mean, I think he probably shaves daily with a straight razor because I don't know that I don't know how long it took him to grow that mustache, but it is pretty thick and fluffy, bro. So, I mean, I would think he could grow a beard. I don't know, but he does have that baby face, bro. Um, he does have that baby face. I'm so far behind in these chats. Uh, I always have understood why they hate on AOC. Rebel AOC 22 in the NFL because of his rushing yards and touchdowns. You got AOC 22nd in the NFL. That's not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let me start this somewhere. I'm not even going to. Sorry if I didn't get into everybody's chats tonight. Like, I just try to pop on here and do this because I told my guy Arnie that I would. So here I am. Here I am. So we're at the 12th best quarterback, and we already said, like I said, Aidan O'Connell. I'm not saying it's better than Jordan Love, but his stats in 17 games say he's right there, and he's never had a system built around him like Jordan Love. This is another point I want to keep, reiterating as much as possible and trying to cram it down, people's brains so they just get that shit stuck in their head that, dude, Aidan O'Connell has never been the guy. Jordan Love has been the guy. Geno Smith was the guy. They got rid of Russell Wilson for Geno Smith. You don't think they built that team around him? You don't think they brought in the best offensive lineman, the most mobile offensive lineman, the best pass protectors, the best run protectors because he's supposed to be a mobile quarterback who only ran for 272 yards last year? You don't think they brought in, drafted the best running backs and tried to build this team around Geno Smith? Bullshit. Justin Herbert? You don't think the last coaches and Coupon Tom tried to build that team around Justin Herbert? You're going to tell me that Jim Harbaugh didn't get rid of all those top receivers and draft a stud wide receiver that everybody said was going to be a bust and wouldn't go probably going to be a UDFA. Ended up being one of the best receivers in the NFL this year. You don't think they built that team around Justin Herbert? Come on, man. Patrick Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, even Sam Darnold. Now, most of that team was put together, but when they brought him in, they swung big on free agency. They got him on the cheap. So they went all out on free agency. They built a team around him. They built an offense. They built a defense. Same thing with Jared Goff. Same thing with Joe Burrow. Same thing with Josh Allen. All these cats have had teams built and formatted around them. Aidan O'Connell has been put in 1, 2, 3, 4, going on his 5th offensive coordinating system. Now, granted, 2 of those systems are out of those 4 systems. It was only 2 systems, changed up a little bit, added 2, half of it thrown away, whatever you want to say. But it's still 2 different guys calling plays in 1 year, your rookie year, that you shouldn't even been playing in as a 4th round pick. Let's throw that out there also. But he did, and he did just fine. It didn't rattle the kid. He never got phased. So Matthew Stafford, the 12th best quarterback. You could say Aidan O'Connell is right there stat wise, if not better in some categories. Actually, not better in any category. My bad. So the 13th guy was Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy is in negotiations with the 49ers. He was drafted 7th overall, Mr. Irrelevant. Wasn't he the last guy drafted in the draft? So, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who everybody said would never be a quarterback, most teams wouldn't even take a chance on him. Obviously, he was the last pick, right? So, the 49ers already having a quarterback that they moved up to pick in the 1st round, who couldn't hold Aidan O'Connell's jockstrap like, as a 4th round pick, sitting over there in Dallas. But anyways, he got traded. Jimmy Garoppolo got traded for this 7th round pick, Brock Purdy. Now, could Aidan O'Connell be a Brock Purdy? No, because he's not going to rush for 323 yards and 5 touchdowns in a season or fumble 7 times. But look at these numbers right here. Brock Purdy is going into his 3rd year, who in his 1st year when he took over, it was a system built around Garoppolo. The next year, when they made it to the Super Bowl, last year, not this year, but last year, it was a system built around Brock Purdy, a 7th round pick in the NFL draft, who, compared to Aidan O'Connell at 62.6%, has 65.9. He's about to make 40 or 50 million dollars also, somewhere in there, or more. I mean, we don't know. 3,864 yards. That is 34 more than Aidan O'Connell. 8.5 yard per average. That's very, very impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That's a yard and a half somewhere in there. More than Aidan O'Connell. 20 passing touchdowns. Exactly the same number as Aidan O'Connell. Aidan O'Connell did not, and I'm going to repeat this, did not even anywhere close have the offensive line Brock Purdy had last year. Christian McCaffrey was hurt, but his running back that stepped up as a backup had a breakout year and is probably going to earn himself a very, very, very nice paycheck this year. So they had, I mean, we know the receivers they have over there. Brandon Ayuk. They just traded Debo. You know, dude. The list goes on and on and on of the weapons Brock Purdy has to throw to. way more than Aidan O'Connell has ever had to. Okay, maybe when he had Devontae Adams there, but these numbers for a 13th. This guy is ranked 13th, bro. 13th. 13th in the NFL. He's the 13th best quarterback. What's better than Aidan O'Connell? Can somebody please let me get down to this chats. Unleashing addiction. Brock Purdy is better than AOC. Where? Show me where. From his numbers, he's not. Because he made it to a Super Bowl? Because he had a better coach? Because he had a better running back? Because he had a better offensive line? Shout out for the $2 holler. What's good? What's good? Appreciate you unleashing addiction. $2 sticker. How come when you tip, you never say anything? Like, the whole point of Super Chat is to voice your opinion, to get your shit up there. I'm just saying. Uh, but yeah, my guy Ernie Garza, like, come on, tell me. You're saying Brock Purdy is better than Aiden O'Connell. Why? Because he can run for a first down every once in a while. You think his pocket presence is better than Aiden O'Connell? I don't. You think his internal clock is better? You think his pre-snap read is better? You think his arm is better? I mean, maybe I am biased, I guess. Maybe I'm just blind. I'll be 50 on Thursday. Jesus. Yeah. Half a decade or whatever. I don't even know however long that is. Way too long. Way too long. Half a cent. How long is 50 years? I don't know. That's a long time. But maybe I'm getting blind in my old age. Maybe I can't see. But watching games for the 49ers this year, they looked pretty damn bad. And, Mr. Brock Purdy in his third year, having a system built around him, being the number one guy in training camp, not having to fight for his job. The job's already his. He earned it, right? There's no competition there. So you go in to the season knowing you're the quarterback. You take your team to the Super Bowl. You're still under a cheap deal. You're in your third year and you want to get paid. Well, Aiden O'Connell's in his third year. Ain't nobody offering to pay him no money. I'm just saying. So by looking at those stats, bro, now you could say last year Brock Purdy was better than Aiden O'Connell. And you could say number wise he was, but he also played in more games. But if you could take any 12 games to the 12 games that are 11 games that Aiden O'Connell played in last year, the numbers aren't different. I've done the math, dude. I've broke down these numbers so many times with every quarterback in the NFL because I'm just so tired of. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. Like maybe Aiden O'Connell is never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I guarantee you, it's not because of his play. If he's not, it's because of one thing and one thing only. Teams just ain't giving him the chance, bro. If you give him the shot, let him know he's the guy. Do exactly what our new head coach said he's gonna do. Love up on the dude. Show him you trust in him. Make it easy on him. Make it easy on him by taking all the weight off of his shoulders. Giving him a running back. He already has a tight end. Giving him 3 receivers instead of 1.5 or 2. Because I mean, come on. we I'm not sold on Trey Tucker, bro. Like he was a Raider, his speed. I would move on from the kid. I would cut my losses. Like I'm sorry, and most of Raider Nation is gonna be pissed. But dude, I mean, the dude can't catch the ball unless it's into his body or he's diving for the ball. He hasn't really done shit. He's never had like a breakout year. Every year we hear, "Oh, Trey Tucker, Trey Tucker, Trey Tucker," and I know it's only been a couple years, but damn, when we throw him the ball, he doesn't make plays. He's tackled way too easily. Like he's just a liability if you're not going to use the man. So I just don't see Brock Purdy is that much better than Aiden O'Connell, bro. Now, I gotta carry this shit up because I've already been on here an hour. Bryce Young was drafted first overall in the same draft as Aiden O'Connell, right? There was all that talk about, Dave Ziegler wanted the other guy. Dick Daniels wanted this guy, the other guy being CJ Stroud, this guy being Bryce Young. Well, the Carolina Panthers gave up the farm. And I mean the farm, the whole farm, the pigs, the chickens, the chicken coop, the barn, the horses, all that shit all came with it and their future. Like for this guy right here in his second year, 14 games, 60% completion ratio, 2,403 yards, 6.3 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, only 249 yards rushing, 6 rushing touchdowns, 5 fumbles. Now, to me, those 5 fumbles are not. You can have those 249 and those 6 touchdowns. Okay, maybe half those 6 touchdowns, 3 of them. I give you 3 back. But I mean, come on. Those numbers aren't better than Aiden O'Connell. Kyle Murray. Everybody's talking about trade for Kyle Murray. Trade for Kyle Murray. Now, Kyle Murray played in 15 games, had almost a 70% completion ratio, the same amount of yards as Aiden O'Connell. 21 yards more than Aiden O'Connell. 1 touchdown more, the same amount of interceptions. He did rush for 572 yards, 5 touchdowns, but he also had 8 fumbles. 8 fumbles, bro. That makes it that's 19 turnovers in a season. You only had 21 touchdowns. You turned the ball. Okay, you had 26 touchdowns with your rushing touchdowns. But you turned the ball over 19 times and had 26 touchdowns? You can't tell me Aiden O'Connell's numbers aren't better than that? Dude, let me ask you this. I don't even know how many people in here because I can't even see that shit, but the 4 or 5, 3 people that are in here are the people that are going to watch afterwards. Leave a comment if you make it this far in the video. I appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe. Um, Tickle the notification button to turn it on. It really likes it. But are those 5 touchdowns and 572 yards really worth the 8 fumbles? I mean, like I said, 5 touchdowns. They could have scored. The team could have scored, 35 points or 42 points off those 8 or 54 points off those 8 fumbles. We don't know. You come in a touchdown every time he fumbled. So to me, that I just don't value rushing yards from a quarterback as much as most, I guess. When you're going to tell me you only had 5 rushing touchdowns, but you fumbled 8 times. Now, 572 yards is more than every one of our running backs had all year long. So I will put that out there. That's 150 yards more than Madison had, and like 300 something more yards than Zeus had. So that kind of makes a big difference. Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts, 15 games, 2,903 yards, 8 yards per attempt. That's actually crazy. That's good numbers. 18 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Also had 630 yards rushing, 14 rushing touchdowns. Now, 8 or 9, I think, were tush push. It could be wrong. I didn't count all of them, but somewhere in there, 8 or 9 was from the 1 or 2 yard line or out. So take that into account. 9 fumbles again, but he only had 5 interceptions. So that's a damn good year. Now, is Aiden O'Connell better than that? Passing yards, touchdowns, Not turnover wise, no. Never will ever be anywhere near those. Bo Nix, runner up for rookie of the year, right? 66.3, 6.7 yards per attempt. He had 3,775 yards. That's what, 60 yards less than Aidan O'Connell. 29 passing touchdowns, but 12 interceptions, 430 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 fumbles. I'm not gonna say Aidan O'Connell's better than that. I mean, that's 9 more touchdowns as a rookie, but he did get to play his 17 games in a row. So that you have to make, you have to account for that. And those 430 yards probably helped a bunch with only three fumbles. Tua Vailoa played in 11 games. We talked about Aidan O'Connell played in 11 games his rookie year, right? 2,280 something yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had four fumbles, I believe. So Tua Vailoa in those 11 games, almost 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 49 rushing yards, 7 fumbles. These guys got to hold on to the ball, bro. Jesus. Um, Dak Prescott, I'm not even going to throw that out there. 11 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions in 8 games. So Aidan O'Connell played in 7 games, started in 5 this year. He had 1,670 something yards, I do believe, a 6.9 yards per average, 8 touchdowns to 4 interceptions with 1 fumble. This is Dak Prescott, bro, a 9-year veteran, drafted in the same round as Aidan O'Connell, to be exact. I do believe 4th round. Drake May. Now this is one I really want to harp on. I really, really want to harp on. Shout out to the 7 people in the chat. Much love. Appreciate you rocking with this boring ass live. So Drake May. Where was Drake May drafted? Somebody let me know in the chat, in the comments. Third overall. I do believe Drake May is a rookie in 13 games. Aidan O'Connell said played in 11, right? 66.6. Ooh, 666. That's a horrible number. He might want to get a pass out real quick. But anyways, that's his percentage. Aidan O'Connell's was higher. I mean, not higher, but higher than it was for his career. It was 63.7, I do believe. The games he played in as a rookie, and he had almost the exact same numbers, 2,276 yards. Had almost the exact yards per average. 15 touchdowns for Drake May. Aidan O'Connell had 12. 10 interceptions. 10 interceptions for Drake May. Aidan O'Connell only had 7 his rookie year. He had 421 yards rushing. That helps him a little bit. 2 touchdowns. But he had 9 fumbles his rookie year. So Drake May, third pick overall in the NFL, not 4th round, not third pick, 4th round, third pick overall. Exact same numbers almost as Aidan O'Connell. 3 more touchdowns. But 11 more turnovers. That's insane. So Drake May, a third overall pick, turned the ball over 12 more times than Aidan O'Connell in a 13-game stretch. I mean, if this ain't saying something, I don't know what is, bro. I don't know what else I could do to prove that this kid has every right to earn the opportunity to just have one shot, one season One season to say he's the man or not. Now, CJ Stroud, look at that. The second pick overall. Third pick overall? Was it second pick over? I don't know where he was drafted. But anyways, they made the wrong choice, right? The team above them, they traded all this capital, went up, got their guy to find out their guy wasn't their guy. This was their guy. They just had the wrong guy. CJ Stroud, 17 games this year, 63.2. Exact same as Aidan O'Connell, pretty much. 3,727 yards. And I'm not even going to mention the running back or the weapons CJ Stroud has on his offense compared to Aidan O'Connell's. That we won't even throw that out there. 3,720 yards, 7 yards per attempt, 20 touchdowns, same as Aidan O'Connell. 12 interceptions, one more interception than Aidan O'Connell. 233 rushing yards, 0 rushing touchdowns, 6 fumbles, the same as Aidan O'Connell. Again, this is the second. No, this is the third. This is the third quarterback that we've looked at stats drafted in the first round that in a 17 game span are not better. Actually, it's like the 8th quarterback that was drafted or 10th quarterback that was drafted in the first round that does not have better numbers than AOC. So, moving on. Here's your guy, Arnie. Russell to the Wilson. Everybody's saying go get Russell Wilson this year, right? Pay Russell Wilson 15, 20, 30 million dollars. I think he's wanting because I mean, let's be honest, he got screwed out of well, I guess not screwed because Denver paid his salary. So I mean, he got his money, but he got screwed from Pittsburgh only having to pay him 1 point whatever 5 mil or whatever he signed for. So null and void in 11 games, right? 11 games. Aidan O'Connell in 11 games. We've been over those numbers. It's not up there on the board. I'm just going to have to keep saying them because I don't want to have to keep changing them out. And to be honest, I didn't write it down on here. And I don't feel like typing it in. So bear with me. 2,482 yards. Aidan O'Connell had 2,200 and something. Y'all can look it up on your own computers. You know, play along with me. Damn. 7.4 yards per average, 16 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 155 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns with 5 fumbles. I mean, I'm not going to argue that's pretty damn good, right? Pretty damn good. But in a 17 or an 11 game stretch, Aidan O'Connell had 12 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns less and 7 interceptions. Russell Wilson is a 2-time Super Bowl appearer. Fucking that doesn't even sound right. Has appeared in the Super Bowl 2 times. He is a 1-time Super Bowl winner and should be a 2-time Super Bowl winner. Now, granted, he's in his 13th year in the NFL, and he might have a little rust on them bones. Because I know I'll be 50, like I already said, here in a couple days, and these bones are rusted as hell. So, not bad for an old man, right? 13 years in the league, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. Am I paying him $30 million or $20 million in a season to do what Aidan O'Connell has proven he can do in a 17 game span or even a 12 game span? I mean, Aidan O'Connell put those numbers up in his rookie year. This dude's been in the year 13, been in the league 13 years. Like Aaron Rodgers, the great Aaron Rodgers. We know all about his playoffs, his Super Bowls. 3,897 yards, pretty close to Aidan O'Connell, right? 6.7 yards per attempt. I mean, that's dead nuts with Aidan O'Connell. 28 touchdowns, 8 more than Aidan O'Connell. 11 interceptions, 1 less than Aidan O'Connell. 5 fumbles. This is a 20-year veteran. Now, granted, he's been in the league 20 years, so he's been beat up a while. He wasn't on the greatest team, but he was throwing to Garrett fucking Wilson and Devontae Adams, bro. Like, this dude has a was there running back drafted in the first round, second round? I don't know, but anyways, has a top running back, so he has a running game. He has a decent tight end. Like again, you have Garrett Wilson. You're throwing the ball to, bro. I mean, what more can you possibly ask for? And he puts up the same numbers as Aidan O'Connell. The next guy is Kirk Cousins. Now, Atlanta paid Kirk Cousins 13 years in the NFL, right? 140 million, 160 million to play 4 games, to have less yardage than Aidan O'Connell in 14 games. So we're going to say probably the same. More touchdowns, way less interceptions, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He ran the ball 531 times for 12 touchdowns. Did he really this year? Why aren't we trying to trade for Kirk Cousins? Can somebody answer me that? I mean, damn, I'm just looking at these numbers. I know he got paid a hell of a lot of money in 140 mil, but if you trade him and restructure that contract, I mean, damn, that's not bad numbers, bro. 28 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. And they benched him? Wow. That's crazy. Wow. That's crazy. Uh, that's crazy. They benched him for Michael Penix for that? Dude, he played in 14 games. Like, he only had 6 interceptions, 28 touchdowns. Why is everybody talking about trading for Sam Darnold or for Matthew Stafford? Why aren't we trying to go get Kirk Cousins? I mean, I'm gonna have to make a video on it for later, tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Like, that needs to be in the conversations, bro. Kirk Cousins got to be in the talks. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. But damn, so our own DC, right, leads pretty much the Raiders in every category when it comes to quarterbacks in the silver and black attack. He played in 10 games, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 71 yards rushing, 1 TD, 3 fumbles. I mean, I guess you can't really say Aiden O'Connell was better than that in a 10-game period. I mean, I guess you can. He had 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So you have to put Aiden O'Connell right there with Derek Carr. In his rookie year, this is Derek Carr's 11th year in 10 games. Really wasn't much better than Aiden O'Connell his rookie year in a 12-game span, right? Or 11 games. He started in 10, played in 1. So, yeah, he started in 10 games. He had 2,200 and something yards. He had 12 touchdowns. That's 3 less. And he had 7 interceptions. That's 2 more. I mean, yeah, 2 more. Like, dude, that's the same numbers as Derek Carr. Another guy, Trevor Lawrence, in 10 games, right? I just said the numbers. Aiden O'Connell as a rookie. Trevor Lawrence is in his 4th year. Just got a contract extension for $165 million or some shit like that. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, 40 something $1 million a year. And in 10 games, he put up 2,000 yards, 200 less than Aiden O'Connell, rookie year. 11 touchdown passes, that's 1 less than Aiden O'Connell's rookie year. And 7 interceptions, the exact same amount. Also, fumbled 3 times and rushed for 119 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. So this is another quarterback making over $40 million a year that really you can't say is better than Aidan O'Connell stat wise this year. Now, I'm not saying all out through the career because, again, let me reiterate this is only 2025 stats for these players. This is their stats, or 2024, not five. The fuck am I saying? So it says right on there, 2024. So these are their numbers. I'm not comparing them through their career. I'm just comparing them through the 17 games that Aidan O'Connell has started in his career, because he has now finally officially started one full season. So I thought I'd break them down. Caleb Williams drafted first overall, right? 17 games, 3,541 yards, less than Aidan O'Connell. 6.3 yards per average. That's 5 less than Aidan O'Connell. 20 touchdown passes, the same as Aidan O'Connell. 6 interceptions. That's 5 less than Aidan O'Connell. This mobile quarterback that's supposed to be a dual threat, that Patrick Mahomes can throw with a sidearm, can throw behind his back, can pitch the ball, can do all that shit, rushed for 189 flipping yards. And y'all think Aidan O'Connell can't win football games in the NFL? Bro, look at these numbers. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there on the screen. It's just baffling. Now, Anthony Richardson, they got him ranked as the 28th best quarterback. His second year, he played in 11 games. He didn't even throw for 2,000 yards. But the biggest part, he threw for 8 touchdowns with 12 interceptions. Now you can say, oh, but Raiders Rebel, he ran for 499 rushing yards with 6 touchdowns. Yes, he also fumbled the ball 9 times. So 21 turnovers to 14 touchdowns. Now, I don't know. I'm not a genius. I'm pretty good at math. Would you take Anthony Richardson because he has a strong arm and he can run the ball, maybe for a first down when the pocket collapses here or there, or, have some flashy runs? Would you really take that 47.7% completion percentage over Aidan O'Connell? Like, really? So, I mean, we're at 28 again. 29 is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a first overall pick for the New York Giants. He played in 10 games this year, 200 yards less than Aiden's rookie year. This is, again, his 6th year in the NFL. 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 265 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 4 fumbles. And runner up, Garner Minshew, in 10 games, 66.3, 2,013 yards, 6.6 yards per average, the second worst out of all these quarterbacks. 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 58 yards rushing, Mr. Mobile quarterback, and 6 fumbles. And last but not least, drum roll please, Will Levis. Okay, he's not last. He was 31. Wasted drum roll. I'm tired, bro. I've been out here for a long time. 12 games, 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for the Will Levis. The dangerous quarterback drafted number 1 overall in the second round. All right, I'll stop that. But yeah, Will Levis, 13 touchdowns, 12 INTs in his second year. He was drafted, like I just said, the first pick overall in the second round. Oh, he also has 183 yards, which the dude, I don't know why they don't let him run. Like, he was athletic as hell in college. I thought was one of his best, best attributes for his game. Kind of like my boy Riley Leonard, who nobody is giving credit to, who's going to be a sleeper and going to be one of the best damn quarterbacks in the NFL one of these days. Um, Last but not least, we have the $240 million man and the king of the happy endings himself, Deshaun to the Watson. 7 games. Not even 1,200. Not even 1,150 yards. 5.3 yards per average. Oh my God, that's nasty, bro. 5 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 148 yards rushing from the mobile dual threat quarterback himself, 1 touchdown, 5 forced fumbles, 5 fumbles, and that concludes. Let's watch this run over here first. That's pretty good. All right, before I get copyrighted. Yeah. So that concludes the quarterbacks. So out of 32, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Bro, I have 24 quarterbacks that Aidan O'Connell is as good or better than out of 32. We have 24. So, where does that put Aidan O'Connell? You do the math. You do the math. Watson makes 200 million for what? What do you mean? His contract was $240 million. That's what they signed him to. They got what 8 games out of him in 3 years for 240 mil or 260 mil, and not to mention the 3 draft picks they gave up. What 2 first rounds and I don't even know what they gave up. Deshaun Watson is him, bro. What do you mean? 200 million for what? Shit, for being the king of happy endings, bro. For getting those special rubs, getting those special rubs on. All right, let me get back into this. I'm so far. Rebel yards rushing. James Furpo in the building. AOC fumbles were recovered. Led into 1 turnover. So AOC's 6 fumbles. He only turned the ball over once. Well then, shit, that don't even count. Always under. Okay, I got a bunch of those. EC Everett, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. If I didn't shout you out already. LVR. Argue Mahomes, Herbert also had better coaching, way better coaching. Rebel, does AOC fit a Chip Kelly scheme? Well, see, here's the thing. Chip Kelly's been a head coach in the NFL. He's been a head coach in college. He's been there, done that, right? He's won the chip. He's won with mobile quarterbacks. He's won with pocket quarterbacks. I don't see why he couldn't fit the scheme around whoever his quarterback is. I believe in Chip Kelly, and I've always loved Pete Carroll since the USC days. So I believe Pete Carroll. They can come up with a plan. I guarantee you for us to win games, bro. If Bo Hardigree, Bo fucking Hardigree, a quarterback coach who had never held a clipboard or called plays. The dude didn't even know how to use the button to talk on the damn headset in the NFL. He had to learn that shit, and it cost us a couple timeouts because he couldn't get the play in time. So if Bo Hardigree can make Aidan O'Connell or take Aidan O'Connell to a 3-1 record in the AFC West and go, 5-4 in his rookie year, bro. If Bo Hardegree can win with Aidan O'Connell as Antonio Pierce as the head coach, you don't think, really, you don't think Chip Kelly and one of the greatest coaches, arguably, and Pete Carroll can win with Aidan O'Connell? Come on, man. Come on. They're going to have a dominant run game and one of the top defenses in the NFL. And you can win with that no matter who your quarterback is. I don't care what anybody says. We've seen it a million times. Now, we've heard the talk about Brad Johnson in Tampa Bay. We heard the talk about Trent flipping Dilfer with the Ravens. You know, anybody can win a quarterback, bro. Anybody can win Super Bowls. I mean, come on. We have a guy that has two and still not in the Hall of Fame, and Jim Plunkett, like, wasn't the greatest quarterback, arguably, in the NFL. Look at his career. Look at his numbers. He came to the right team at the right time and hit it. Hit his G spot. Right, he flashed. So it could happen. It could happen for any team, for any quarterback, at any given moment. And yes, I think Chip Kelly can fit a scheme around Aidan O'Connell. Aidan O'Connell proved this year that if he has to throw on the run, he can. If he has to step up in the pocket and run the ball, he can. Nobody wants to see him do it. Nobody wants to hold their breath that long, but it can happen, right? So, I'm just saying, I did all this just to show worst case scenario. Don't listen to everything you hear. Just because somebody with a big platform gets up there and says AOC will never be nothing but a backup quarterback, and every sheep on the damn on YouTube jumps on the bandwagon following them saying the same shit, you know, is how bad rumors get started, bro. So I just wanted to show the facts, and you know, didn't have really anything to say last year except for Aidan O'Connell played in 10 games. There wasn't much to show. But now he's had 17 games. It's a full season. You can put them two together, and it's not like a correct measurement because, again, like I said, he didn't play those games back to back. He didn't play, you know, 17 games with one bye week. The dude had a fucking 9 months for a bye week before he got another snap his second year. So all that has to go into accountability. All I'm saying is this dude can compete. He has a head on his shoulders. He has the arm. He obviously can put up the numbers. And, you can say whatever you want about 20 and 11 is not great numbers. But how many quarterbacks did we just go through? 25 of them. 25, 24 quarterbacks out of 32. He had just as good or better numbers then. So we can win with Aidan O'Connell, bro, if it's the last case scenario. Now, do I want him as the future? If we win, I don't give a shit, bro. I don't care who the quarterback is. Bring Jimmy Garoppolo back if we win ball games. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to win and win consistently. And as long as we can bring a quarterback in, groom a quarterback, develop a quarterback behind whoever we have starting that's winning us games, why the guy behind them is developing in a winning system, not a losing system, then we're good. We're good to go, right? Bring in the running backs, bring in the draft picks, bring in the free agents, do all that shit now, and get your quarterback. If there's not one in this draft, you do not feel comfortable moving up and going and getting, then wait till next year. Wait till next year, spin the farm, trade pieces. We have plenty of players that we can trade or move around that somebody would be willing to take. I guarantee you, I can list 10 of them right now that you could trade to get up into a first round pick if you had to. So if that's the worst case scenario, then so be it. But why spend $40 million on a dude that had one good year that's the rest of his career is not even close to Aidan O'Connell's first year as a rookie, a fourth round pick. So it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, I don't care. I don't want this dude. I'm not a Aidan O'Connell stan. I just want to win football games. And the best chance we have to win football games is to build this team for the future now, why we have a cheap quarterback on the roster. And, I was trying to say it yesterday before some whatever. I'm not even going to go into it, but I was trying to say it yesterday in another live. Like, the Raiders' window for opportunity was last year. Why was it last year? Because we had Malcolm Kuntz, Trayvon Morig, Nate Hobbs, Robert Spillane. Um, the list goes on and on. Everybody, Jack Jones, Adam Butler, all these dudes were on the cheapest contracts that we will ever get them at. They were on the cheapest contracts that any team will be able to ever sign these guys at. Nobody will ever be able to pay these guys as cheap as we were last year. So that opportunity window was gone. And all I was saying is dumbass people that said we should have started Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew's the guy. We're going to win with Gardner. He was in the Pro Bowl and all that stupid shit that whatever. I don't know if it helped or didn't help, but whatever. Aiden O'Connell didn't end up starting and it put us back. It put us back another year or two. I mean, you can look at it. It put us back 2 years because it put us back the whole year we lost out this year, and it's probably going to put us a year back next year because I just don't see us coming out and winning 12 games. And no matter who the quarterback is, a rookie, even if we go swing for the fences and get Darnold, like I mean, are we really going to win that many games? So our opportunity was last year. We totally shit the bed. We failed Aiden O'Connell um, by not putting weapons around him, by wasting $24 million on a Gardner Minshew that you could have paid to bring in Josh Jacobs. You could have paid in to bring in a better offensive lineman than Cody Whitehair, than Andres fucking Pete. You could have paid, that $24 million to help out a lot of positions on the offense to make Aiden O'Connell better instead of paying it for Gardner Minshew, who had 10 interceptions, 9 fumbles, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 6 fumbles. Like for $24 million. I mean, come on, bro. We paid that dude guaranteed money, $1 million for every turnover he had. When we could have just went with Aiden O'Connell all year long. And worst scenario, we would have been better than 4-12. I, I guarantee you, Aiden O'Connell would have won us more than fucking 4 games. He won us 2 in the 5 games he started this year. So, I mean, come on. We almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs if it wasn't for a botch snap. I don't know. This shit just doesn't make sense to me. I'm glad we didn't sign Stafford, Rogers, Wilson's, our Cousins. Like, dude, I don't know. Cousins, bro. Like, looking at those stats, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about the Cousins thing. I would trade for Cousins. Like, I mean, with those numbers, if you can get them for less than what you would be paying Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins is a way more proven quarterback in the NFL than Sam Darnold will ever be, in my opinion. Coming off an Achilles injury, he still put up 28-6, bro. That's crazy numbers to me. And rushed for 400 yards and 12 touchdowns. Bro, come on. That Kirk Cousins had a bomb ass year. And I talked a lot of shit on that dude, but maybe I should have maybe I should have looked at his stats a little more. Somebody asked me earlier if I'd signed Kirk Cousins a couple days ago, and I said hell no. But I take that back. I would trade for Kirk Cousins. I mean, who do we have out there? Andrew Luck. I mean, not Andrew Luck. Drew Lock. Drew Lock. Russell Wilson. Justin Fields. I mean, damn. Rebel. We are missing your total offense performance as a team with 32 ranked rushing offense defenses. regressed from last year. AOC third down production, red zone scoring, scoring average per game. Yeah, that's horrible numbers, bro. Horrible. Hertz is better than AOC. I mean, he should be, right? He should be. He was drafted in the second round. He won two national championships in college. Didn't they win back to back? I don't know. At least one. So, Hertz has a natty. He got what, one or two Super Bowls now? I mean, I'm not going to argue AOC is better than Jalen Hurts is better than AOC. I mean, it's obvious. But you can also argue that if you put Aidan O'Connell on the Philadelphia Eagles with Saquon Barkley and the number one defense in the NFL, I think he's taking them to the playoffs. Now, I wouldn't swing for the fences and say I guarantee you he's going to take them to the Super Bowl, but I don't see why they couldn't get there. I mean, if you look at the numbers that Hurts put up for them to get to the Super Bowl, I think Aidan O'Connell can put up better numbers than that. Not as many rushing yards, but he's going to destroy the passing yards. So, I mean, you can put him in that mix, bro. You can put him in that mix. You could say athletics, from the waist down, he's not as good as AOC. I mean, AOC is not as good as Jalen Hurts, but from the waist up, bro, he he. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. Nix is better as a rookie. Nix should be better as a rookie. Arnie, he was drafted 10th overall, right? 12th overall. Where did he go? One pick before us, so 12th. I mean, come on. We're forgetting the fact that Aidan O'Connell was drafted 4th overall. I mean, fourth or fifth overall in the 4th round. Like every one of these quarterbacks, every single one of the quarterbacks we just went over were drafted in the 1st or 2nd round. The only quarterback on that list that was drafted lower than the 3rd round was Dak Prescott and Aidan O'Connell. Every other quarterback, all 32, all 30 out of the 32 were drafted in the 2nd or the 1st round. So you have to put that shit in perspective also. AM what? Maybe it's not lots of talent will only get better. Yeah, I guess. If we are tired, Tide goes to the right, right. Tide goes to the runner. I'm with that. C.J. Stroud played better rookie year, sophomore slump, same stats as AOC. Yeah, his rookie year he killed it. I mean, there's no comparison. Wilson is better. Cousins is better. Got you, got you. Hell no, hell no. Um, Browns need to cut their losses. Yeah, they need to. They should have cut their losses a long time ago. They should have did what the Broncos did and just been like, "Here, somebody take him. We'll pay his salary, and y'all work it out." Rebel, we are missing Tom Brady. What? We are missing Tom Brady. Choose to pick our quarterback. Will he let AOC compete or trade him? I don't think Tom Brady has anything to say in this. I don't. I don't think. And I said this at the beginning when he was hired. Tom Brady is not going to have the say that everybody thinks. That's why he brought in Spytech. Why do you think he brought in a 73-year-old Pete Carroll to be the head coach? So he don't have to be involved all the time. Now, are they going to be on the phone constantly? Yes. But is he going to be in the building? No. So whatever evaluating he's doing of AOC, if any, will be on film, I do believe. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not Tom Brady. I've never talked to Tom Brady. I've never met Tom Brady. If I did, I'd probably punch him in his damn face for the tuck rule. No, it wasn't his fault. I'm just kidding. Shout out Tom Brady. I love you. I need a job, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, I don't know what Tom Brady's thinking. You know, I have no idea. But I mean, if I was Tom Brady and I had a kid in the building that was a fourth round pick, you know, that had all the things that said he was looking for, a guy that can beat you with, his head instead of his legs or his arm, doesn't have to have the strongest arm, doesn't have to have the fastest legs, doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the NFL. Just got to be a guy that doesn't turn the ball over and, that wants to compete in every game and that loves football. That's Aidan O'Connell. So, I mean, I don't know what Tom Brady's going to do, but I hope they do. I hope they give him the shot. Like, from what the coaches say, it's going to be a competition, right? They want to stack the quarterback room. I mean, at one time, Pete Carroll said there's going to be 4 or 5 quarterbacks in here competing for the job. So if they do that and he wins, and people still say AOC is not the guy, bro, I'm hacking everybody's account. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to do this shit, but uh, for real though, I gotta get off here. It's been 2 hours. What else did you say? Thanks, Rebel. AOC stats look good on a poor man team. If he had more mobility, he would be a Pro Bowler like like Uncle Rico. Stop. Who stats? AOC, Dart, or Sanders? Who starts? I really can't say. I don't know. I still get that. I still got that gut feeling that AOC could be in the mix. But man, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. They could go get Justin Fields. They could go get Drew Lock. They could go get Carson Wentz. Um, Keep AOC and draft a quarterback and let all of them battle it out. I mean, I don't know. They could bring in Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, like the Steelers did, and and see which one they could keep out of there. So I don't know. I don't know. What I do know for a fact is Tom Brady has never been big on mobile quarterbacks. So keep that in mind. For all you Shador Sander fans that think I hate on Shador, which I never hate on a dude, just because I have an opinion doesn't mean I hate on somebody, because my opinion is different than yours. Doesn't mean I'm hating on you or hating on them. It's not hate to have a different opinion than somebody else. But with that being said, it's all signs are really starting to look to me like Shador at number 6 is going to be a Raider. So for all of y'all that are, on the Shador fan, come draft day, y'all should be very, very happy, because I think Jackson Dart is too mobile of a quarterback. I think Tom Brady is still stuck on that fact that he can win with a pocket passer, with a guy that stands in the pocket if you build a team around him. So we will see. We will see. But that's my feeling. That's my feeling on Tom Brady. Is I think he's I don't think he's caught up to the new age of mobile quarterbacks. If you watch the games, when he talks about these guys running, it just doesn't seem like he's big on the whole mobile quarterback scene. So, you know, there might be a lot of surprises. Might be a lot of surprises. Might not be a lot of surprises. But if y'all got any kind of knowledge, satisfaction, or anything else out of this video, man, like, subscribe, tickle the notification button. As always, much love. We out. Raiders. Peace and cootie grease.